Cushman & Wakefield booth in the Central Hall 1339, and if you're here at the convention, please stop by. There's lots going on. We've got a lot of deal making and meetings underway, and lots of excitement happening. So
as an investor buyer, I wish it was 2012. It'd be better for that side of our business.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just keep moving ahead. I am with ToddSipulsky from Sapolsky Real Estate. How are you doing this morning?
Good, good. Yeah, I mean, it's day 2, so you can see the end is in sight. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely end in sight, but still lots happening. So let's talk about your company, your development projects. I know there's one in particular in Napa that we really want to get into today, but why don't we start with the history of your company and where you started?
Yeah, I mean, I started before 2012, but we have an office out of North Carolina, in Durham, North Carolina, that handles the Southeast. We've historically gone from Florida up through Maryland. More recently, tightened into Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Retail office, some resi, but mostly retail, shopping centers, some downtown projects. And then we jumped out to Northern California and started an office because I had a partner who bought a winery and wound up out there in 99 and started doing work in Northern California. So to some, it's sort of odd to be from 2 very separate areas, but they're very complementary. Biotech, high level of education, very strong economies. So for us, it's been a nice balance. So we have an office in Napa, California, and an office in Durham, North Carolina.
Nice. And so when you started then, where did you begin with your projects that led you to get to your Napa project?
Yeah, I started coming out, I said, when it formed a company with a fellow named Leslie Rudd. And he had bought a winery out there, and that's why I came out to Northern California.
Okay.
And just spent some time getting to know the Bay Area, which at that point was in its early sort of, late 90s, very peak, early .com world. And it looked around, and then when things sort of crashed in '01, it was an opportunity for us to make investment. So we invested in San Francisco proper, and then because our office, and he was out in Napa, we wound up headquartering there. And then started placing bets in the city as well as Napa proper, and seeing what was potentially going to happen in that region with just the changes in the Napa brand and the interest in Northern California with Silicon Valley and so on. You could see it was a great opportunity to be investing in the market.
Sure. Well, there's a lot happening in Napa now, and it's evolved quite a bit in the last few years, right?
When you say Napa, I think a lot of people don't understand when you say Napa is Napa Valley. Then there's the city of Napa, which has been the last part of that area to really catch on fire. What I've said to people over the last year or two is when I first came to Napa, I was young, and Napa was old. Now I'm old, and Napa's young. The demographics, the interest has really moved toward the importance of destination for people from all over the world, but also a younger demographic that's experiencing food and wine and health. We have a great outdoors, spas, cycling. You can do it all in Napa Valley. But the city had been more of a blue-collar area. It also had flooded because of it having the Napa River. And there's been a significant flood control project that started in the 90s that's now basically finished. It's redone the whole river, beautified it, but also made it much more of an enjoyable place to be and not flood. So the opportunities in Napa proper are only the last few years. So we're taking advantage of it.
Nice. So why don't we talk a little bit about your project, First Street Napa. It's a mixed-use property, and some information on that.
We're very fortunate. We were able to start in 2011 to acquire properties, and 2012, which was earlier, was when we bought the old Napa Town Center, which is part of what we're doing. But over the last few years, we've put together 3 blocks. And so we own or control all of Downtown 1, which was upzoned in 2012 to the highest density, most integrated part of Napa Valley. So we have the tallest building ever built in Napa Valley, which is our hotel. That'll open in October. And we have mixed use, which is about retail, about a little over 200,000 square feet of retail, 40,000 square feet of office, and maybe someday some more residential.
Wow, that's quite a large scale project. Sounds like it'll be a huge catalyst for the area and really be a source of bringing people and drawing them towards that community.
Yeah, so what's changed is what I think is drawing visitors to Napa as an experience. We've seen the demographics with age, international, just go double in the last few years. So, we're about 5 million visitor nights now. And you add Sonoma, which is about 20 minutes away, which has another 4 million. So, we're a great center of activity. But what's been missing is retail. If you go up valley to Yountville, St. Helena, Conestoga, it's very limited what we can do. What makes Napa special is the ag preserve, which keeps all the growth pretty well contained. So those are great communities. They've got some spot retail, but there hasn't been a there for a retail destination. We're big enough with the 3 blocks, with the square footage we have. We're the draw for not only the Napa area, but also people coming from Sacramento, San Francisco, Marin, that are easy day trippers. And so within our direct market, we have 3 of the top, wealthiest communities in the country. 3 of the top 10.
Wow, so the demand is there.
Yeah.
So what type of retailers are you targeting for this development?
Well, I think you generally categorize the street retailers. Some are boutique, some are great local and regional. But we have to be an experience. I think it's what's buzzword everywhere in retail now. Housing being cool experience. But we have public markets over here in Napa that draw great types of numbers. So we're expanding on why you come to Napa, but also we're bringing in some more traditional national and international brands, which we're working with them to how do you come into our market and do your product in a slightly different way that takes advantage of what is our agrarian, elegant kind of atmosphere that you would find in Napa. And they spend money, and they want to experience that. It takes them home with them, either locally or regionally or nationally.
Nice. And also, where do you see Napa headed in the next 5 to 10 years? Would you say?
Oh, I mean, it's all great stuff. I mean, we have 4,500 hotel rooms in the valley now. There are about 1,200 approved and ready to go just in the city area alone. You can imagine the numbers of people who will be coming into the area. We're not a lot of residential growth at this point. I don't think we'll see tons of new housing. There'll be some, but more and more as a recognized place that you can spend a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, and have a multiple experiences. Great wine. We now have breweries that make great beer, distilleries, the food, and I said the outdoors aspect. So I think it's alive, and it's an international destination. It's only going to get more and more popular.
Well, I love Napa. I can't wait to go back there one day, and hopefully I'll get to see your project, First Street Napa. And if anybody wants to learn more about First Street Napa, is there a website they can go to? I know we've got a great team in San Francisco from Cushman & Wakefield that you can call or get in touch with, because Hugo Morgan is leading that project. But what's there's a website I'm sure that they can access as well?
It's just www.firststreetnapa.com. And you said the CW team, Kazuka, Pam Mendelson, Susie Hall are leading up our partners in the project, our trademark property company out of Texas. So they're also involved in leasing, so you can reach out to them as well. But the boots on the ground for us are CW from the San Francisco office. And we've got some great tenants we already announced. Our office space is almost 100% leased already. We're not even opening that up until the first quarter 18. Hotel's opening in October. Charlie Palmer Steak is their restaurant and the F&B. So it's going to be a very lively and exciting location.
Wonderful. Well, best of luck with it. I'm very excited for you, and thank you for taking the time, Todd,
We'll see you there.
to chat with us. And I will definitely be there to check it out firsthand at some point. And thank you guys for tuning in. Check back. We've got a few more interviews lined up today for the next day of Recon 2017.